The children want to know. You know, you can't beat a lesson where the kids want to know.
You know when you go down a club and you have to be really careful with your drinks?
Yes.
People can do stuff to it. What do they put in the drinks?
Is it speed? What if you took in the smoke but didn't actually swallow it?
If they pressurised you, what would you do?
There is no point in standing in front of a class, whatever age group, and telling them no. Because we know, don't we, that as soon as you tell a child not to do something, the chances are they will go in exactly the opposite direction.
So how do you give young people the knowledge and skills to help them stay safe in a drug-using world? We went to Shoebury Ness High School in Essex. Sally George runs the PSHE department here.
It's going to be a very busy lesson today, Year 8.
She's been teaching for 19 years and has devised some stimulating resources for her 100-minute lessons. Today, she's teaching a mixed ability Year 8 class. They've looked at drugs in Year 7, and now Sally's taking it a step further.
You have got 2 minutes in which to write down as many different drugs as you can think of. Think as broadly as you can, as many different drugs as you can remember. The ethos behind the drugs programme for this school is that we give them the information on which to base informed choices. We will strongly urge them to consider that it is not the best action for them at any point in their lives, but by at least giving them the correct information, they can then go away and make informed choices. What you have to do is say one thing off your sheet of paper, OK? Off you go, Neil.
Heroin.
Heroin. Next.
Poppers.
Poppers. Next.
Cocaine.
Next.
LSD.
Yep. Next.
Nicotine.
Well done. OK, lovely. When you do a buzz session like that, you're at least getting the right sorts of words coming your way and you can sort of dispel a few myths. I like the fact that things like nicotine were up there, caffeine was up there, tea was up there. Also, of course, it got the medicinal drugs coming out as well. So when I said to them, think laterally, some of them did. Are there some ways that we could actually group these drugs? Neil, give it a go.
Medicinal ones, street drugs.
Lovely. Right, so we could have medicinal, couldn't we? And street drugs. Now, if I was to say to you we could split the medicinal 2 ways, where do we get our medicines from, Jodie?
Whether they come from a chemist or you have to be prescribed them.
Good girl. What we're going to do now is to see how much knowledge you already have, all right? It's a good idea to see where we're going to start and hopefully where I've got to take you to. If you think what I say is true, you're going to go and stand on that side of the room. If you think what you say is false, I say is false, you're going to stand on that side of the room. We moved on to the quiz. Lovely for kinesthetic learners because they actually having to vote with their feet. It's a doing thing. Cocaine is usually injected. True or false? Cocaine is usually injected. True or false? OK, James, what do you think you do with it?
Sniff it.
You think you sniff it. You're absolutely right. It's usually snorted or sniffed. Well done, back in the middle. Because it gave us a chance to highlight just what they didn't know, which is excellent, because then I get a chance to do the teaching. I can put it right without making them feel that they got it wrong in the first place, if you see what I mean. Many people in the UK are addicted to tranquilisers. True or false? Tranquilisers are a prescribed drug. Does anybody want to change sides? You're not sure, are you? You're saying true, are you?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah! There are a lot of people who are addicted to tranquilisers. OK, here we go. Now, this is quite a tough one. Listen up. Listen. As of this month, cannabis is a legal substance. True or false?
True.
Put your hand up if you think that's true. The legislation changes this month. How many of you believe that by the end of January, cannabis becomes a legal substance in this country? Ladies and gentlemen, you are totally wrong.
Oh, you said it was 5 lessons.
No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
It's illegal. It's changing its classification.
On Do Your Kids Take Drugs?
Yeah.
They said that it's the least most harmful drug and that smoking was more harmful than...
OK, let me run this by you then.
Yeah.
How do most people take cannabis?
Smoking.
As a spliff. What do they roll it with?
Tobacco.
Their argument falls apart, doesn't it? I deliberately made question 10, that one about the legality of cannabis, because I guessed correctly that they jumped the wrong way, that they would say, yes, it was being legalised, and of course it isn't. 1, 2... I checked on the legality of cannabis, the reclassification of cannabis, 36 hours ago with a police officer, because there is no way I'd even go down that road without making sure I knew exactly what I was talking about. If somebody came up to you on the street offering you a particular drug, how many of you think you would know what it was? Put your hand up, be honest. Couple of you. Couple of you think you know. OK, we're going to put this to the test. Because on the back of your Streetwise card, there is a drug. There is a name of a drug. A street name. All those 42 drugs fit into one of 9 categories that we're going to put up on the board. Ainish down to Emily, off you go. Put it where you think it lives. Don't worry at this stage, other people, if you think it's something different. Because it's putting things into categories, and they had spelt those 9 categories to begin with, it sort of all ties it together. They will remember where things belong. Not all of them, they will still get a few confused, but they are certainly more aware now than they were to begin with. Cannabis. Let's have a look at cannabis. We've got, or you've told me, that you think hash, rock, weed, blow, spliff, dope, ganja and grass are all cannabis. Mark?
Rock and crack.
Yes, you're absolutely... Rock's the wrong one, Mark. You're absolutely right. Rock is crack. So would you like to move that for us, please? Oh, I'm sure someone will get it down for you. Oh, yeah, go on, you can be there. Go on, go on, go on! Go on, my son. Whoa! Well done, Mark. Top right, ecstasy. Let's have a look. There's one right.
That's mine.
E. Well done, Jodie. E. But I'm a bit worried about the hatties, the sillies and the uppers. So, shh. Lee.
Does Happy's go in magic mushrooms?
Certainly does. Ben.
Does sillies go and crack?
No. Mark.
Does sillies go and mushroom?
Yes. Go move it. Right, OK. Is there any questions on that you want to ask or you're not sure about? Mark, you got your hand up.
That has...
Temazepam.
Temazepam. That
Yeah.
sounds a bit like diazepam.
And it is of the same family. How do you know about diazepam?
It's on Metal Gear Solid.
It was on Metal Gear
Solid.
Oh, hello, we're playing PlayStation here. OK. With something like drugs, if they will talk, if it will roll, then... and it's relevant to what we're talking about, you've got to let it happen because that is what's happening there and now for that child, and that's much more part of PSHE because that's much more part of life, which is what makes it real for them. Tell me about it in Metal Gear Solid.
It calms you down so you have a better shot.
Ah, is it something you can have in your pack that you
Yeah,
can
and
sort of...
it stops you shaking when you're shooting.
So you get a better aim.
Now, isn't that interesting? You know about a drug that is a tranquiliser which is being put out as something you can get hold of within your PlayStation games. Harry?
There might be some questions you can't answer. So how do you deal with those?
Some people are on heroin who are coming off it. There's another drug that...
Methadone.
That's the one. And is that class A? Because that's prescribed.
Methadone, classification of drugs. Do you know, I can't do it off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up for you, Wesley, all right? We'll come across it next week. I'll do that for you. If you show that you have weaknesses too, that you don't know everything, you're not the font of all knowledge, children respect you for that.
So the mother...
Alongside knowledge, students need to develop skills to enable them to make decisions for themselves. Sally uses circle time to develop those skills.
As soon as we inform our children that there is a circle time about to happen, they know that there are set rules. For instance, what is said in the room stays in the room. And that goes for me as well as the children, unless I perceive a child to be at risk. I want to do now a little bit of a circle time with you. We're not actually going to physically change the furniture around because it just makes it too complicated. What's this? Don't tell me it's a bear. What is this? It's the conch. That's right. The conch actually allows the children a particular space to say what they have to say. You are feeling a little under the weather, but have a really important race at the weekend. Your athletics coach provides you with a couple of sachets and suggests you dissolve them in a drink just before the race. Do you take her advice? Richard?
No, because the drugs test, they will give you a drugs test at the end of the race or a couple of weeks later, and then they'll find that you've taken something, and then you'll lose a medal.
If you won one?
Yeah.
Are you making any presumptions then about what the trainer, the coach, has given them?
I know it could be... I don't know.
You don't know. What do you think they've been given?
Like an amphetamine to speed them up.
OK, some sort of performance-related drug. OK, that's lovely. Mark, please.
Obviously take it off him, but won't actually physically take it.
All right, interesting way of dealing with it. Which is the assertive way?
Just turn it down.
Turn it down?
Yeah.
Turn it down. Push it across to Hannah, please.
You don't take it because you don't know what it is.
OK, I think that's very good. I think that's a very, very sensible thing. I would like you, please, to visit the website I spoke to you about, which is www.talktofrank.com. There is always a point of contact that I provide those children with. It might be just reminding them of which member of staff it is to go to. What I want you to do is to go in and make notes. I want everything you can find out about cannabis that makes it bad for us. You know, you can't believe, can you, that 100 minutes is never going to be long enough, but it never is. But I suppose the real star was Mark. I mean, he was both very knowledgeable and very happy to express an opinion. People in the middle may go, thank you. If your classroom control is reasonable to good and you have cultivated that respect for each other and for you, and that they understand that what's said in the room stays in the room, so they feel comfortable, you're home and dry. And it's so exciting because it's so real.